Shalom. Good morning. Cold weather is coming. Woo. Whoops. I have some things to say about that. Hopefully they won't be exactly the same things that everyone else is saying about that. One of them is, praise Yah, we're able to predict this cold weather coming. Whoa! Chicken stampede! Don't get between them and their food. Praise Yah, we've had, a week to get ready for it. So, seriously, there is no excuse to, well, now I have no food at home and I have no way to keep myself warm. You've had time to, what? Prepare. Even if you're on a limited budget, you could, whoops, hang on. You could take last week's money that you budgeted, and that's what budgets are, guys. You indicate plan exactly how that money is going to be spent. So last week's money could be spent getting ready for this week. And to deal with temperatures this low doesn't require too much specialty equipment. A pair of these insulated Carhartts that Pastor and I wear, and we didn't invent them and we didn't think of them. I mean, we got the idea from farmers in our area up in Kansas, because Kansas gets pretty cold. And a hat, like I've said in my other video, on everyday carry items you probably haven't thought about. A pair of gloves, and if you're really poor, if you don't want to spend $20 on a pair of gloves or whatever they cost, I've tried all different things, y'all. I'm an experimenter. A pair of washing gloves and a pair of those dollar gloves over top of them. Voila! Now you have waterproof gloves, right? Because when it's cold out, you don't want to be cold and wet. You want to be cold or warm and dry. Another thing that you could prepare for is the fact that there won't be any milk or bread on the shelves in the next week, because everyone in the world is going to be buying it. People like my son, his wife knows how to cook. She knows how to bake. And they store lots of baking ingredients in their very small house. And so when she needs bread, she just makes the bread. Unless your power goes out. And even then, if you have a wood stove, you cook it on or in the wood stove. There are ways around being a victim in this kind of weather. What's another thing, people? Okay, so we've covered your clothes. I mean, even if you only wear a hat that costs you $1 on your head, it keeps your head insulated and your body heat in, which is what you want. Also, I've got a scarf on. Now, I've got a big collection of scarves from my head covering days. And BT Dubs, my husband, pretty much said, and I follow his guidance on it, he likes seeing my hair, and so he's not requiring me to keep my head covered all the time. And it's not in the Bible that I have to keep my head covered all the time. I'm following the guidelines that the Bible sets. God, Jesus, my husband, me. So when he says, I want to see your hair, I'm going to follow what his lead is. Anyway, those scarves put around your neck keep heat from escaping out the back of your coat. And that's pretty much all you have to wear. Now, yes, I understand. If you watch my videos, if you go back to previous videos, other winter times, I'm usually wearing something. This coat I've had a while, but different hats, different scarves, different coats. Sometimes I've worn 2 and 3 sweatshirts. If you wear 2 or 3 sweatshirts over top, they are still, even though they're cotton, keeping your body temperature in. Your clothes aren't generating the heat that you need, your body is. A really easy thing to do that doesn't cost a lot of money is drink a warm drink. Most of y'all already do that anyway. And by warming your insides, it allows your body to not have to suck the warmth out of your extremities, and you stay warmer longer. So, you know that my husband's channel is all about preparedness. You know that we live a preparedness lifestyle, and we live a rugged, rural lifestyle because we prefer that. But there's some advantages to it too. Well, there's many advantages. There's health advantages, there's money advantages. But when you aren't relying solely on an electrical system for your heat, you have alternatives, right? And so for us, this week upcoming will require more of the fuel we normally use, but we know approximately how much fuel is required to keep the house at a certain temperature. And so all we have to do is make sure we have enough of that fuel ready, and no problem. Our house will be comfortable, and we can keep it at whatever temperature we choose. And that's kind of what being prepared is about. Because you and I know when the temperatures get extreme like this, sometimes electrical systems fail. Trees fall, limbs fall, lines get taken down. And so you could be sitting there in the 7-degree temperature and your power go out. Do you have the stuff you need to handle that? Do you have alternative power? Because those little buddy heaters cost what, about $40? And a thing of propane used to be $2, $2.89. They're up to like $3.50 a piece. You can get those buddy heaters yourself, and now you have a standalone heat source should your electric heat go out. That's not that hard. It doesn't require a separate stove and a huge stack of wood or anything. And those little heaters will warm the space that you're in. But you're going to want more than one of those cans of the propane, because it will, it lasts for, 4 to 8 hours if you got it on full blast. And so it's going to run out. So you want to have more than one. So think about, let's say 4 bottles times 7 days, that's 28 bottles. Or you can get an attachment that hooks it to a 20-gallon propane bottle, which costs about $50 new, and it'll probably last all week long. Anyway, the point is, it only takes a little bit of brain power to figure out what you're going to need and to make sure to have those things around. In the most extreme, if you're extremely disabled or your income is very low, lots of blankets, right? Sitting around under lots of blankets, watching your phone or reading a book or whatever, and candlelight. That's the other thing I was going to say. If your electric power goes out, if you burn candles and you're careful, they'll help warm the air. I'm not saying heat your house with candles. I'm saying they will help warm the air around them. It won't be enough to keep you warm, but it will do a little. An oil lamp, all you need to do is light it and have some oil in it. There's lighting for you. You can have flashlights with batteries and things like that too. So you have alternate lighting there, and you don't need to worry if your power goes out. Sitting around reading a book by candlelight with a lot of blankets on is exactly what people did, 200 years ago before all the modern amenities happened. And they survived, and you will too. As far as putting food up, I talked about my daughter-in-law and bread. Well, milk is the second thing people always buy. So there's ways to deal with the milk too. Guess what? There's canned milk. You can drink it. Evaporated milk is milk, right? You just add a little water to it, thin it out a bit. Milk! There is what's called Parmalat, which is a shelf-stable milk. It's boxed, and you can just leave it in your shelving, your cupboard or whatever, until you need it, and then open it up and drink it. It doesn't taste like fresh milk, of course, but it's milk. And if someone makes evaporated milk in a factory, you can make evaporated milk yourself. And there are ways to do it if you have a canner, which in the long run, canning your own food will save you a lot of money. And it's not that hard to do. I did it this year. So you can make your own milk for just such an occasion. You can make your own bread with your own flour. And if you have canned foods or you can food from your own garden, you have food ready. If your freezer goes out, can that food or eat it. You see what I'm saying? There's ways to deal with this disaster that make it non-disastrous for you. And my husband said he's on some website. I can't remember if it's Time Bomb or Reddit or something, where people who are older like me say, oh, this weather, it's winter. It's not Snowmageddon. It's not Iceageddon. There are historical snowfalls and temperatures way lower. So we got to buckle down. We have to prepare and to take things like this in stride. All right, y'all. I'm going to get to my ducks. Bless you. Shalom.